Concise control flow with if-let. The if-let syntax lets you combine if and let into a less verbose way to handle values that match one pattern while ignoring the rest. Consider the program in listing 6.6 that matches on an option U8 value, but only wants to execute code if the value is 3. We have let sum U8 value equal sum 0 U8, match sum U8 value. In the match statement, we have one arm for sum 3, print line 3. Now we have another arm for everything else. We want to do something with the sum 3 match, but do nothing with any other sum U8 value or the none value. To satisfy the match expression, we have to add the underscore placeholder, fat arrow unit signifier or symbol after processing just one variant, which is a lot of boilerplate code to add. Instead, we could write this in a shorter way using if-let. The following code behaves the same as the match listing in 6.6. So that would be this. The syntax if-let takes a pattern and an expression separated by an equal sign. It works the same way as a match, where the expression is given to the match and the pattern is its first arm. Using if-let means less typing, less indentation, and less boilerplate code. However, you lose the exhaustive checking that match enforces. Choosing between match and if-let depends on what you're doing in your particular situation and whether gaining conciseness is an appropriate trade-off for losing exhaustive checking. In other words, you can think of if-let as syntax sugar for a match that runs code when the value matches one pattern and then ignores all other values. We can include an else with an if-let. The block of code that goes with the else is the same as the block of code that would go with the placeholder case, the underscore case, in the match expression that is equivalent to the if-let and else. Recall the coin. Let me read that again. We can include an else with an if-let. The block of code that goes with the else is the same as the block of code that would go with the underscore case in the match expression that is equivalent to the if-let and else. Recall the coin enum definition in listing 6.4, where the quarter variant also held a US state value. If we wanted to count all non-quarter coins we see while also announcing the state of the quarters, we can do that with a match expression like this. We've got let mutable count equals 0, match coin. If the coin matches a state quarter, print it. Otherwise, add the count or increment the count by 1. So yeah, so I have did it once here, and then here I have incrementing the count again, and I gave it a penny both times, so it counted 2 pennies. Or we could use an if-let and else expression like this. And that is here. If let coin quarter state equal coin, print line state quarter from that state, else iterate the count, iterate, is that add 1 to the count, and then print the count. I added that. If you have a situation in which your program has logic that is too verbose to express using a match, remember that if-let is in your Rust toolbox as well. Summary. We have now covered how to use enums to create custom types that can be one of a set of enumerated values. We've shown how the standard library's option T type helps you use the type system to prevent errors. When enum values have data inside them, you can use match or if-let to extract and use those values, depending on how many cases you need to handle. Your Rust programs can now express concepts in your domain using structs and enums. Creating custom types to use in your API ensures type safety. The compiler will make certain your functions get only the values of the type each function expects. In order to provide a well-organized API to your users that is straightforward to use and only exposes exactly what your users will need, let's now turn to Rust modules. I've been looking forward to the Rust modules section for a while, but before I do that, because this is a short one, I'm going to run through this just as a review for myself and for anyone else who's interested. So I have hashbang allow dead code. This allows unused variables, including, we didn't use any of the US states. We didn't use anything except for penny up here. So if I take this out, we should see, all right, so this editor is Kate of the KDE Plasma's Kate. Let's see, let me go back up here and save it. And then I'll go back down here, cargo run. Right, and so we have all these, I unplugged my mouse because I'm using a laptop, and so I got 2 USB ports. So we've got, right, so we got warn dead code on by default. Okay, so let me put it back how it was. I wonder if, oh yeah, I wonder if undo will undo after save. Hey, it sure will. Alright, so we're gonna save it again. We've got derive debug. So this is the thing that, and it's not really getting used here either, but it is the attribute, I want to say it's called an attribute that allows for this right here, this business. So if these are not here, then this will only print, it'll only take in state if state's type implements format display. And I think it's easier to get things to implement derive debug because you don't have to tell it precisely how to format for display. You just say, give me the information. And this is no good for users because it won't be in a user-friendly format, but it'll be good for just developing your code. And here I had an issue at first with let's see, delete word, right, save. I had an issue before with did I not save it? Should be giving me an issue. Okay. Huh. No issue. I wonder why. Let's see. So before I was, let me open this in a different, I'll go open it in VS Code. So we will say, take me to, yeah, the book. And then match opera if-let, there it is. Okay, and then, oops, I spelled it. Code dot. So now, kill that. Yeah, no mouse. Here we are. Well, here I have, okay. I guess what I had was, here we have let mute count equals 0, and I had this twice. I had it down here again. Okay. Come on now. And I thought it was giving me an error. Huh. Well, could always try to run it, see if an error appears. No. Hey, look, it remembered from cargo run. Aha. So here I have, you see the two ones, and that is because I was resetting count there. So I wanted to get rid of this so that I could still use the same count and get up to 2 like this, and it works now. And I swear I had an issue where I had to come into the first one and tell it to take a mutable reference to count instead, but maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm still trying to figure out what, so this, they've called it several things. They've called it the empty tuple, they've called it the unit signifier or something, and it shows up, the parentheses syntax is always where something is going to take an argument. So maybe it's parameter syntax or something. And let's see what else. I have this, I have a U8, and you can use this as you can use a type suffixing. So this is some U8, right? And it's but the data is 0 of some U8. So what if I change that data to 3? So that should change our output like this, right? So now that sum is 3, sum U8 is 3, we get match sum U8 value if it matches sum 3, print line 3, and then down here, if let sum 3, sum U8 value, print line 3. So they said that using a match expression is good for being exhaustive. And then sort of the workaround is, well, if you don't want to exhaustively list every possibility in the match arms, then you can use this underscore placeholder wildcard, I've heard it referred to also, and let it, I've been saying result because I knew the word I wanted started with an R, but the word is return. Let it return the unit specifier, or the unit something, an empty tuple, which I guess means none. So could I change this to none? Well, this isn't returning, this is returning something that is not this is not an option. This is not returning an option. taking an option it's matching to an option, but it's not returning one. Using if let. So if let means you can say, I want to run some code, but only if I get a sum 3. So let's see. If let sum 3 equals sum U8 value print line 3. So we have sum U8 value. This is the so this is a variable, and the variable sum U8 value is holding data sum type or option type sum U8, and the data is 3. And then we have the if returns booleans like true or false. If let, I guess it's sort of like that because we're if letting, well, either it does or it doesn't. So if let sum 3, and then over here we have sum U8 value. We don't know what it is. Well, spoiler alert, it's a 3. Then we'll print line 3. It is less code. It is also more unclear to me. Okay, so down here, using match, again, we've got the let coin equal a penny coin, and then we're setting a mutable count to 0. Then we're matching coin, and if coin is a state quarter, then we'll print line state quarter from, well, let's put that in here. So how about let coin equal coin quarter, and in here, what do we have to say? Quarter state, US state, yeah, US state, Alabama. Alright, and now we will have, it'll give us the count from the first, alright, oh right, okay, so we have, so we're saying, so we got some 3, and it'll print 3. So what if I have some U8 value, what if I shadow some U8 value as something else? So down here, and this should be in the same scope as the original sum U8 value. So now we'll say let sum U8 value equal sum, and then we want it to be U8, but we'll call it, let's say, a 2U8. 2U8. Alright, so now, ooh. Oh, it fixed it. I get excited about errors because I get to learn from them. So it'll print 3, and then it won't do anything from the if let sum 3, the second one, okay. And then using match, we will get a state quarter from Alabama, and then, but no count, right? And then using if let and else, we will change, well, we'll let the coin be the penny, okay? And then it will count to 1. Take a look at what we got here. All right, so 3, some value is 3, and then nothing happens. Okay, so instead of a 3, we have 2U8, so nothing happens there. And, oh, you know what? There was something else from, let me pause this. I'll be right back. Well, you won't even know. Okay. Okay, so I switched to the code from the last section, the match control flow operator. And there was something that I had to think about at first for it to make sense. So I wanted to talk about that. And it is that if you have a If you have, okay, I don't know if I left this in a state where it will run or not. I did. Well, okay, that's that BAM stuff. Let's see if that shows what I'm talking about. So println BAM, no, because what I want is a print macro that then has basically another print macro inside of it. So not this. So I'm going to change this to something that won't give me a result. So 2. So 2U8 here, it'll send it to the wildcard and then do nothing. So now, we've got matches are exhaustive, matching with option T, value and sense. Here it is. So we'll look at the Nickelback example. What have I got coming in to it? Here's the function. Okay, so do I have a main function somewhere? Yeah. Okay, so let's change this to placeholder. Yeah. And then that way I can put a main function, say here. Oh, right. This used to be my main function. I changed it to say side function. That is a womanizing joke, I think, or a man. Okay, you get it, right? So CIW main, right? Now this will be. It will print. It will match for a nickel, and then it will print value and cents. Okay, so it'll print the match on the return of the match arm from value and cents if we have coins Nickelback garbage. Okay, so I'll run my cargo. Look at this photograph of garbage. So now, here's what I had to consider, and it makes sense once I thought it through. Here's the main function. So the main function starts to run, right? And the first thing the main function does is a print line. But it doesn't finish doing the print line until here, right? So it's not going to print anything until it gets through all this. And then the argument for the print line, starts off with a, Lord have mercy, I really, it bothers me not having the right thing to call this. Specifier. It's not a specifier, it's a, this. Okay, so it says, all right, I will print that, but tell me what it is. So here I'm going to tell you what it is, print line, and then you can tell main, and the main will print it, I guess. So value, so it is, this is garbage back nickel coin value and cents. So value and cents of a nickel with a garbage back, nickel back garbage. So we come up here, say the return of that is another print macro. Look at this photograph of back. The back is garbage. So this will say, look at this photograph of garbage 5. So that happens before this print line macro fires off. Why is this significant? What made me think of this? It has something to do with the stack. What I was thinking. So let me sort of walk through it. So main starts, okay, and then this print line macro goes on the stack, but it doesn't resolve because next it looks here and it sees, oh, I need some more information. So then this value and cents coins Nickelback garbage goes on the stack, and still nothing has resolved, right? So then that takes us here, and then on top of this in the stack goes this match expression, matching to coin, and still nothing has resolved. And then on top of this match expression in the stack goes, and I don't know if this is really, no, it's probably not, because memory, so the stack is for memory, and I'm thinking of sort of the order of executing commands. But anyway, so then this return of the nickel arm goes on the stack. Even if it's wrong, I'm going to keep saying it just because of how I'm thinking this through. So this goes on the stack, right? And finally we get to where we can start resolving things. So back has to resolve. We have to find out what this is. So it comes to here, and it says, okay, so it's the value associated with the nickel that we got. And the nickel that we got is a coin. And the coin is of type coin S. And where did we get it? We got it right here. The coin S we got was nickelback garbage. Okay, so now we know this is garbage. So that's all we need to know to print this. So then it starts resolving. This is sort of in my imagination, and perhaps in real life. So at first it resolves this print macro. Look at this photograph of garbage. And then it resolves this next line. And then it comes back, and all of that goes in here. So it kind of resolves it. It doesn't actually, it sort of, it returns it. It is returned. So this is returned to here. And so then this goes into this parameter. It is an argument for this, right? And the print line has what it needs. The print line has this. It says, okay, so here's what I got. I have got print. It makes me wonder if we even need print there, because print line's going to print it, right? Well, no, we need the macro, because we have to be able to get the variable into it. Okay, well, so print line now has as its argument a string, but the only thing in the string is this or string slice, whatever. The only thing in it is this thing. What did I say I was going to call it? Scope block. Okay, so print macro and 5 on the next, and 5, which is not on, and there's no new line, because I didn't want it on a new line, so that's why I didn't say print line here. So if I have I can show you what I mean. So I used the print macro instead of print line, because I did not want this 5 to go to new line, and that's what print line does. Print line essentially adds a new line here. So if I run it now, it will put that on the next line. And then this new line here, that one comes from this print line. So if I take this out, if I just make this the print macro, did I kill the, no, there it is. So now this will be, so now it puts the 5 on a new line, but then it doesn't give us a new line after the 5, which is this. 5 goes right there. No. 5 goes, what goes in here is new line. Look at this photograph of garbage. New line 5. All that goes there. And then print line puts it in. Okay, so if I come here and add a new line, then it is as if both of these just say print line. Print line, print line. So here we are. And in addition is this new line. And I didn't want any of that, so, well, I did want it down here. All right, so let's undo, yep, undoing. No, I made that main, right, okay. Have I been recording? I have, huzzah! But does this pertain to the stack? I don't know. In my imagination, it does. So next time, I'll be moving into mods and what is it? Something. Something here. This is really hacky, I know, but I'm trying to see. Yeah, 7. Okay. H. I typed the wrong thing. No, it's got it. Managing growing projects with packages, crates, and modules.